thought I would show you my beautiful cat. That is a Treyu, and isn't he just sweet? He just like has to be next to me. I love my cat and dog. They're my best friends. So of course, every once in a while, I'm going to allow them a little debut in my little channel up here. So let's talk about what's going on in May, because a lot is going to be going on in May. Now, one of the best things about May is that you are not going to be heavily influenced by May. This is not going to be an entirely difficult month for you. This is more about mutable energies than cardinal energies. I do like to talk about how Libra energy and how Gemini energy work together. For you to get an understanding of how you may feel some of this energy this month. When Libra and Gemini energy get together, it makes you want to express yourself to friends, express yourself through networking. It makes you want to be much more social than you normally are. Sometimes when a Libra gets into partnerships, they want to focus only on their partnerships because they're just so incredibly happy. But with all this Gemini energy in you, you're gonna feel like you want to get out. And of course, a lot of times you love to be the center of attention and you like to go to parties and you like to get out there. But this is going to make you have to get out there. It's going to make you just enchanting and fun and engaging. So I think all in all, you're going to find this Gemini energy is going to feel pretty good to you. Now, another thing that I like about this month is that Venus, your ruling planet, goes into Cancer. So you are just going to be so sweet and sensitive. Now, normally, Libra can be a very disconnected energy. You're sensitive, but you're not like a water energy where you're super duper sensitive. But in this energy, you're going to just be very passionate and tender towards your partner. I think you're going to see your relationships go to another level through communication, through effective communication. Now, there is some energy I want to talk about with you because we want to manifest the highest vibration that we can out of energy. And so it's very important for me to cover low vibration, high vibration of energy for you because you are very good at balancing energy. It's one of the most, I'm so jealous of how Libras know how to always compose themselves during crisis mode. It's so, now I'm not saying that I haven't seen Libras lose their lid because I freaking have. Like when Libras lose it, they lose it and they lose it bad. And it's very unexpected and so uncharacteristic of them that you kind of pay attention because wow, they just lost it on you and that's not entirely normal of them. And you went through a lot of these power struggles throughout the Pluto-Uranus squares during your trials with that cardinal energy going on. I am happy to say that most of the trials of May are going to be in mutable energies. And so unless you have like a rising or a moon that's in a mutable energy, I think you're going to find that this is going to be just a month of you finding the middle ground in all of this chaos. And you're going to do it really well. So on the 1st of May, Mercury enters Gemini. So, and I've already talked about that. It's going to make you happy. It's going to make you social. It's going to make you communicate effectively. If you're in a legal career, you're going to find that you just speak so eloquently. If you are a lawyer, you find that you win cases easily just based on the fact that when you communicate, you are just spot on. And you beat the competition just due to the fact that you're so level-headed, yet so precise in your language and how you communicate your opposition to whatever's going on. Then on the 11th, Mars enters Gemini. And when Mars enters Gemini, you will find that you're going to be highly passionate about dealings with other people. When you're out and you're mixing and you're mingling, you're going to find that you just have a courage to be sometimes out of character. You might find that you engage forcefully in conversations and that you're much more opinionated than normal because you want to stand up and debate topics that are of importance to you. And normally you're a peaceful creature. You normally like to find a way to communicate effectively without a stance of aggression. However, you might find that you're passive aggressive in conversations, that you actually fall back on forms of manipulation. You use some of the tricks of the trade that you like to do. You put on your mask and you seduce everybody through this manipulative technique that I think only Libras master. I've only seen Libras be able to pull off what they can pull off. I mean, they're just so eloquent about this passive aggressive form of communication anyway. But with Mars in there, in Gemini, you're just going to win. It's a winning month for you. Now, the other energy I want to talk about is Mercury goes retrograde in Gemini. So, when Mercury goes retrograde, if you are in the legal field, or if you are any type of field where you deal a lot with computers, communication devices, where you deal with the internet, all your cell phones, if you're commuting back and forth a lot, you're just going to find that you're going to have a lot of delays. You're going to have a lot of things that cause your patience to be at here. And you're a very patient person. So if it pisses you off, you know that there's something in the universe causing all this. And so you're just going to find it's hard for you when Mercury goes into retrograde, especially in Gemini, because normally the fields that you're in are ruled by highly effective communication. And so you're going to be doing a lot of damage control, and these can lead to very draining days for you to try to find a way to get around an energy blockage. If you had an obstacle that day, you could spend all day trying to overcome it, and you're just exhausted by the time you get home. And that is just sometimes too much for you to constantly endure without some sort of pleasure coming your way, right? So let's talk about the days of the month that a lot of days this month I'm not even going to cover because I would have an hour video. So I'm going to try to hone it down. I apologize if I do digress too much. I'm going to try to keep on track, I promise, and I'm going to cut out as much of the stupid energy as I can. So on May 3rd, there's a full moon in Scorpio, and for you, it's going to be in your second house. Now, when it's in your second house, you have a personal goal. You value something and you want something right now. But it's out of your reach. And April got a little bit better, but now in freaking May, it's just more challenging. It's back to communication problems once again. It's back to the same old. You're having to sit up there and demand for equality in this dealing. I want to say that for you, it's probably going to have something to do with your family. It's going to have something to do with a latent issue that you have deep down. Maybe you were a peacekeeper in your family. And so you were always trying to show them how good you were by achieving great things. And if you had possessions, if you had this, if you had that, it looked to them like you were the success you were. Appearances are very important to a Libra. So you want to come off this way. This is very deep within you, I feel. Like if I'm feeling the energy right. And I feel like I am. But I am I have a Gemini energy course through me, so who the hell knows, right? But during this time, there's fierce opposition during this full moon in Scorpio with Mercury and Saturn. Now, I need to talk about this day because a full moon in Scorpio is a very intense energy. Now, for all of you that are feeling this intensity, you're so balanced in your energy that when you get intense like this, it's like you don't know what to do with yourself. It's like you want to meditate. You want to find a way to diffuse the situation. You want to go get a massage. You want to go to the salon. You want to find a way to find balance because this isn't like you and you don't like it. Not to mention that Mercury, Mars, and Neptune are all going to be opposing Saturn. So this is just a day full of adversity, but not on a logical level that you can deal with. This has to do with internal things, internal wars within inside yourself, and it has to do with past latent issues that you have. These are past, I want to say, if I read the energy right, I want to say that this has something to do with the relationships that you have with others. I feel that when you get into a family situation, I think you just mold to whatever family situation you're in. So when you lived at home, you molded to that family situation at home and tried to make everybody happy and just became that family situation. And then when you moved out and you moved on, and with every partner that you've had through all these Pluto-Uranus squares, you were a different person. You kind of molded to that situation. And you just tried to be a people pleaser. Now, you know by the Pluto-Uranus squares that this isn't going to go down this way anymore. So there's an intensity and an uneasiness that you feel inside yourself. So it's going to be some time to take some personal time and work through all of this, and that's okay. This month is going to be a lot like that. Then on the 7th, we have Venus moves into Cancer. When Venus moves into Cancer, your ruler moves into Cancer, you're going to find that you're just so sensitive to what's going on in your life. You're so sensitive to how others love you, how they value you, how you value them. You're going to be attractive, but on a sensitive level. And this is weird for you because, like I said, a lot of times you will find that Libras are just emotionally detached to a certain degree. I'm not saying they're not sensitive, but they're just much more logical and rational about feelings than the average person. And that's how that they are so good in the judicial system, because they can hear about really tough things that most people couldn't be able to deal with, and yet they can rationally see both sides of what was going on and then either defend or oppose the situation. Then on the 14th and 15th, I want to talk about this day because it's very, very strong in opposition, and for everybody, it's going to be a combative day. So I feel for you that this energy is going to be coming from other sources and not so much from you, because it's going to be in your 9th house. And you're going to want to seek a higher level within inside yourself when all the chaos starts to break loose. This is not your issue. This is everybody else's issue right now. You do not need to take responsibility for what's going on in other people's lives, and you don't need to keep the peace in their life, and you don't need to keep people balanced in their lives. That's their struggle. That's their war. You need to take care of you. And you don't do this very well because a lot of times you want to take care of everybody. So when this day happens, just know that Mars, the Sun, and Neptune are all going to be opposing each other. And they're going to be at war with each other. Because Saturn is going to make Mars the planet of war, the planet of aggression, the planet of passion, sit down in its classroom and try to have a conversation with it. And this conversation never goes well because freaking Mars is full of itself. It knows it can handle anything. It never does well in this energy. So people are going to be very combative. You're going to see a lot of ego struggles on the 14th and the 15th. It could be with people in your life. There seems to be an issue that has to do with some sort of you were under a different impression about a situation, and as soon as this day, after these couple days, you're like, what just happened? Like, I thought this situation was going to be this way, and it's not this way, and now I'm stuck having to pick up everything. You're going to seek comfort through your 9th house. You're going to look at everything on a much more broader scale. Now, because this energy is in opposition, yes, it will be in opposition in your chart as well, and in your sign as well. But I feel that the opposition that you are going to feel the strongest is through dealing with others and keeping them balanced. You're going to try to get them to see the higher thought process in what's going on. You get the higher thought process. They don't. So communication is not going to be very effective because, Mercury's starting to go into its shadow period. And when energy builds toward a major astrological event, it slows the energy down. So you're already starting to feel that communication is just not going right. You're highly intuitive to behaviors and people. And so you're starting to feel like, communication isn't going to get me through this. Like, I'm going to tell this person and then I'm going to walk away because they're just being drama, and I know that. And you're going to go take care of yourself, and that's what I encourage. Now, on the 17th, we have a new moon in Taurus. I wish this was a great moon for you because Taurus is a sign that works very eloquently with you, and Venus rules both Taurus and Libra. So normally I would say that you would be very seductive and sensitive and sensual, and you would have a rock and love life right about now, but it's opposed. And there's a yod. And this yod has been forming since April. I've been keeping my eye on it since April. And I noticed that it's all throughout, kind of like through the end of May, when all hell breaks loose. And so I want to talk to you about what a yod is. Now, a yod looks like a teepee in the sky. Okay. Now, on the top part of your yod, you have Pluto in Capricorn. Okay. And then down here on this part of your teepee, you have Jupiter in Leo, and then on this part of the teepee, this part right here, you have Mercury in Gemini. And so the primary energy in this is Pluto. And if you know anything about Pluto, Pluto is a very dark energy source. It is your latent issues. It is your deepest insecurities. It's where fear lies. It's where obsession lies. It's where secrets lie. It's where anything that you don't want to deal with, you shove in this closet and you put it away and you just don't want to see it anymore. That's where all of that stuff lies. And you don't want to face that stuff because that's where imbalance lies inside yourself. And Pluto is dredging all that out. And the next thing that Pluto is doing is it's opposing a benefic planet. So a malefic planet, I think one of the worst malefic planets, a lot of people like to say Saturn's malefic, and it is, but I think of Saturn as being benefic. if you can believe it. And the reason why I say that is because once you sit through a class of Saturn, Saturn can give you wonderful opportunities for advancement in your life. In this situation, these two are going head to head, and it's good versus evil in my head. It's progression versus let's look back. You've got some crap you got to deal with and you haven't dealt with it yet, and it's time for you to deal with it. That's what it's saying. It's not going to let you feel all rosy like you like to feel. It's going to get down and dirty into the deep heart of things. So when you have a yod, this part's a quincunx. Each part of this, the long part of the TP is a quincunx. The bottom part is a sextile. Now, quincunxes are oppositions. There is no balance between these energies. They don't like each other. It's flat oppositional. Now, the key is obviously to find balance at all points of your life, even through the worst opposition. You know this better than anybody. That's your whole goal in life, is to stay in a balanced mindset, even through the worst opposition you could ever go through. And that's what a Libra does well. That's why I think you of all people are going to be a master in this energy. So these two are fighting each other, and then Pluto and Gemini and Mercury are fighting each other. So as you know, communication is not going to be effective, and Pluto's going to make sure that you don't have an outlet for what's going on. That charm isn't going to work. Flirting is not going to work. That communication is just not going to work. That this is an internal process that you need to figure out. It's no accident that Pluto, Saturn, and Mercury in retrograde are it's no accident that Pluto, Saturn, and Mercury are all in retrograde and all opposing each other, all having a standoff right now. There's a past issue, a latent issue that you need to figure out, and it's very, very, very important for you to figure it out. The way to understand how to figure out a yod is through the sextile, through the connecting energy in the sextile. So that would be Mercury in Gemini and Jupiter in Leo. That's the energy that will open this door and allow you access into this room. Now in this room is a table, and on this table is a secret message you got to decode. But you've got to find the key first. And the key only lies within yourself. You're the only one who knows this. Communication with others is not going to get you any closer to figuring this out than you were, before. You became aware of your yod. This is an internal process. This is with Pluto. This is something deep within yourself that you know that you do deep down to sabotage your situations, to not manifest your highest potential. And this is going to go on throughout the entire end of this month. Right after the new moon is the Mercury in retrograde. Now the yod's still sitting there, but here's the clincher. Mars and your Sun and Venus are all going to oppose Saturn and Pluto in retrograde. At the same time, Mercury goes retrograde. Are you seeing what I'm saying? Plus you have the yod. Now I like to look at retrogrades as okay, what happened the last retrograde? What manifested from the last retrograde? Did somebody come forth? Did I come up with an idea? Did my past come back and present me with an idea? What happened in the past retrograde that creates a karmic issue? When I see so much past energy, I wonder what the karmic issue that lies in that. What's the latent issue that we're not facing? I mean, there's something there. And I don't, for everybody, it's an individual lesson they all have to learn. And everybody's like, help me figure out my quincunx. I can't help you figure out your quincunx. I can't help you figure out your yod. only you can figure out your yod. And that's why communication is being halted, because you're going to want to run and ask everybody about this issue. For you, I feel that you're going to find this in your 10th house. I feel that the new moon was going to be in, for you, it was going to be in your 8th house. So for you, there's transformation that's going to come from figuring out your yod. It's going to be a death to an old habit and a transformation into a new one. I've been trying to tell everybody the way that I look at this energy is it's like right now you're in your cocoon and there's a storm. And the storm has these really big raindrops that's saturating your cocoon and making your cocoon weak. And this month is all about breaking down your cocoon. Can you make it through the storm? Can you make it through the storm and actually transform into a butterfly? Or is so much of the rain going to be on your cocoon that it's going to cause so much water damage that it breaks apart, and here you can't live halfway through your metamorphosis? You die. That's the death. That's the 8th house. You know, in your new moon. Are you going to die or are you going to transform? It's going to be that simple. Like, you got to get real about this energy. It can't be, and you're good about being real, and you're good about finding the middle ground in that, and you're good about seeing the big picture. So I see you being very successful in your yod and working it through. I really do. I do want to say that on the 25th, Venus is going to square off with Uranus. And during the 25th, and the reason why I bring it up, because I see that Venus has so much opposition, and that's your ruler. So Venus is going to be in Cancer, as very, very sensitive a spot for it to be in. And it's going to square off with Uranus and Pluto. At the same time, the moon is going to square off with the sun, Mars, and Mercury. I'm telling you, the 25th is just a holy cow day. It's a hardcore day. It's a day where a lot of sensitive issues are going to come out. And there's going to be tremendous intensity from others as well as inside yourself. No matter how much I think you try to keep a lid on yourself, I think even you may succumb to the energies that go on the 25th. Just know that this is going to continue till the 31st. Just know, not quite as bad as the 25th, but you're still going to have all this crazy oppositional energy just wreaking havoc. Pluto is trying to get in there and make you transform. For you, some of this energy was in the 8th house. So for you, it really wants to manifest a better you. Take this energy and make the best of it. Remain balanced. I am going to be doing a daily reading, as I mentioned before. I don't know how effective I'm going to be in communication because I apologize. I have a Gemini rising, and so I don't know what to say except for I think that I'm going to be highly challenged in the communication department as far as on the internet or through communication devices, but I am going to try every day to do the daily readings for you and the daily energy postings. I think it's going to be very helpful during energies like this for us to find a balanced way to approach these energies, for us to look at both sides and know that light and dark energy are in this, and to find, even if it's just enough light energy to make a dim light to get you through the day. That's all that's sometimes all we need to do to get through the day. And so that's what I try to do on my website for all of you. Through Facebook. So I hope that you get through May and that it blesses you in some way and that you figure out your yod and that you just remain balanced and find the highest ground that you can in all energy, dear Libra. And I really appreciate all your support, and I look forward to seeing you again next month.